How do you bring the prisoners to the mine for each shift, right? You have to connect it with this almost deadly staircase. This is what has been happening here, and because it reminds some, let's say, similar conditions as in Mauthausen, the prisoners started to call the stairs Mauthausen stairs. Every morning, every afternoon, every night, the prisoners were walking up and down. Imagine when it was snowing, when it was freezing, it was extremely slippery. There were watchtowers on each side of the staircase, and whenever the prisoners tried to escape, they started to shoot immediately. So what do you say? One of the best views of the Jáchymov town. This place was firstly filled with war prisoners, that means with Germans, closely after 1945. The map has been destroyed, as you see, so this is part of our plan of the Politicti, the volunteering initiative that I run. We wish to reconstruct them and bring new ones. This is really the solitary confinement where prisoners were sent to once they misbehaved, be it on the shaft or be it in the camp when they didn't do something well, or just when the guards were not happy with them, they just punished them again. It was a small prison within a prison. Each solitary confinement was famous or infamous for 50% less of the food. There has been several catastrophes connected with this place. The last one happened in 1981 in the spring, when there was too much snow in the surrounding mountains. The snow was melting too fast, the pond was overfilled with water and the dam broke. And a massive wave of water flooded Jáchymov and destroyed 1/3 of it. There are still pieces of timber and of wood in between the bushes. And the wire was just around us. It was very tight, so that people had to go really close to each other. And the other line behind us couldn't do more than one small step. Levá, pravá, left, right, small steps forward. And that's how you transport 300 prisoners from Nikolai camp to the mine called Edward. 800 meters. Mr. Manderholec has counted it. He was here over 2 years. And he said that altogether he has walked approximately 1,540 kilometers in this special Russian bus. Russian, why Russian? Because the whole idea of the Gulag system comes from Russia, right? So that's why they call it Russian bus. Try to stand next to each other, 5 people in a row. This is one big absurdity of this place, is nowadays used for training our sportsmen in biathlon. So in the winter time, large amounts of people actually keep coming here to train skiing, shooting, and we have the chance to see the facilities around. So imagine in the 50s this became the center of uranium mining, and only in the 60s and 70s this became a recreation resort and sports resort. You know, altogether, somebody was trying to count it, and altogether, that is the official number, they came up with 1,100 kilometers of tunnels in the Jáchymov district. All these meadows and the fields around us, they are artificial. Lots of scouts were imprisoned in Eliáš camp. All the enemies of state who disliked communism were persecuted. Scouts were naturally one of them, because the scouting ideology is based on the values of freedom, human rights, helping each other, strong moral values. The scouts have installed this memorial here several years ago. They keep returning every September. They come to commemorate their friends and the victims of this camp. Look around us. What you see is basically no sign of commemoration except of this devastated information tunnel. Somebody again destroyed the whole map. What is this? please help me. It's so absurd in my opinion that this is really a model of an ancient castle which was built here by the prisoners, by the political prisoners, for the pleasure of their guards. You can see the little wheels at the ceiling. They served for actually lifting your clothes using a wire on the wheel so that you can pull them up where it was a bit warmer and you can dry your clothes. Once you go to the camp to sleep, then you arrive, you bring your rubber coats with the shoes who hopefully dry it a bit. You change, you put your prison uniform and you go to work. This is why there is so many wheels. This was the changing room, and that's really the last memory of this place, together with the little castle. Mr. Zdeněk Mandrholec, who is our dear guide.
Tak vážení přátelé, mladí.
This is a place to which all the political prisoners were sent after their trials. And right in front of us, this is the national cultural heritage called Red Tower of Death. The reason why this name was given to the tower is that there has been large amount of victims in connection with with processing the uranium ore. The uranium ore was processed here in 1950s, between 1950 and 1958, so for 8 years. This tower was used for processing uranium ore. In the early 1950s, every second political prisoner was actually imprisoned in Jáchymov. The answer is Stalin needed uranium. Right? It was the time of the race for the atomic bomb. Stalin needed lots of ingredients, so to speak, to produce the bomb. And as explained before, Jáchymov was one of the few accessible mines with large amounts of uranium available. One of the camp chiefs, the capo, that is the German word, was extremely cruel, especially in Nikolai and Rovnost. This is very famous. These two places are very much connected with them. They were bullying the prisoners here and then, really. It bordered with sadism, simply. There were the Jehovah's Witnesses who were imprisoned in the camp as well. And this story says that they refused to work in the mine because of the religious reasons. They refused to support the production of the atomic weapon, so they didn't want to mine uranium. And the chief of the camp decided to let them stand for one night naked in the snow. And the next morning they were slowly, one after each other, falling down in the snow.
Got it.
This is how it looks when you make it to the end. And this is the place which Mr. Mandrholec was describing as his working place. These were the places where the political prisoners were hiding their precious belongings, be it food, be it letters, be it simply something precious they wish to hide. This is the easiest thing to do. You put it here, nobody knows about it, but you have to be careful that nobody can see you. Otherwise, people are reporting on each other and doing all kinds of terrible things. Jáchymov was in the 50s filled with almost 70,000 political prisoners. So imagine how this valley actually looked like. Quite a little medieval town surrounded by all these crazy facilities filled with prisoners. This is the reality of 1950s. By the end of 1950s, the mining period was over again, and since then this is only the place of, let's say, summer and winter sports, vacation, rather beautiful mountains. The memory was silenced. Say hello to your word, and we slowly lift it. So guys, pleasure to have you here.